Good morning. Welcome to Paradise Now, Dialogues with the Mother. My name is Sandra Davis, and I'm here for you for this show and for many shows to come.
Yeah. Mother, I was feeling something wrong when I was reciting your name all time, Sandra Davis. So forgive me for that, and I'm saying my viewers that because if the mother is mother, I can't say her name. Please forgive me, all the people, for that thing. And we were talking in last show. We were talking about the spirit and all. And when we were starting this program, the environment here was so much funny and all. You were singing so much good, and I was enjoying that. Our whole team was enjoying that, and you were in the religious mood that time. And I was feeling that those vibrations were killing my soul. Killing my soul means that I was getting so much happy.
Okay.
Yeah, killing my soul means that my soul was getting so much happy to hear that. Because these words have two meanings, we all know about that. Mm-hmm. Because these hard words can give me presence here. So I am thankful, Mother. I am here with you.
I have to say that sometimes we do have fun in the studio, but today it was so spontaneous.
Yeah.
Like everybody was singing, and we have latte, and we have nice pies. So we wish for everybody in the world.
Yeah.
So now I'm happy with that, but I wish for everybody to have latte and pies, and the joy to sing, and the hope that they can overcome their own hardships.
If we came here with this show to think about these things, to see the whole world happy, it will happen. Because I always, when we start the show, I always see the tears in your eyes of that love for this society and for the mankind. Yeah.
So one of the most, everything is important, but one of the most important subjects that we can touch on is the spirit.
Yeah.
The individual spirit that has a role in the body. As it develops, it has a role in the body, and then has a role in the after, in the stages between lifetimes.
Yeah.
A spirit that develops well in one lifetime will be together with the soul towards another lifetime. You notice I'm not talking about more lives.
Yeah.
One individual has one life only.
Yeah.
That's why they have to take good care of their life. One life only, but they have more lifetimes. If their lifetime is interrupted by an accident, by anything that would stop that flow, that survival, then they will come back to continue. Why? I'll tell you something very important now. If you look at the old scriptures, there are records of the fact that people were living 1,000 years, 1,000 more. The human form needs, depending on the individual, between 900 and 1,200 years to reach the divine. It takes to become their own divine level, their own divine being, 1,200 years.
Yes.
In 1,200 years, a life that starts and continues for the entire 1,200 years, well led, leads to that person's divine being, which then leads to further cosmic and universal evolution. When the life was interrupted, then it had to come back to continue. If it couldn't do in one stretch the whole process from birth to divine, then it had to do it, to come back, to continue, to collect everything from the past lifetimes and to bring it to the fulfillment of the divine, so that that life is not wasted, so that that being is, that soul and that spirit and that whole heart is not wasted. So now we'll have, with paradise coming, we'll have the possibility to protect human life in such a way that they will get the whole length necessary to become their own divine being. And some people may have achieved what is achieved in 800 years, 900 years. Maybe they just need 50 years or 100 years to achieve it.
Because of the past lives.
Because of the past lives, valuing their past lifetimes, all the achievements where they are at right now. Some are old souls that have the experience and the care and the divine quality. They may just need 50 years. They may not, just
they
need
can
10 years.
Catch the moon.
And get to that point where they achieve and they still stay here to evolve as divine beings. They achieve their divine level. Now they have to evolve as divine beings in paradise on earth. So all is very purposed for beautiful, beautiful achievements for the individual and for the whole world.
Mother, we all want to know one thing, that when we are talking about the spirit, is any difference between the spirit and the soul?
Absolutely. The soul is the structure for the body. The soul has what it takes to have the form for every cell, for every organ, for every aspect that sustains the process of life. So the soul is the structure, like the walls and the pillars of a building. That's why you're talking about the soul sustaining the weight of the body. It has the power. It's a structure. Is connecting with the levels of, connected with the God in ways that the human evolves, the person evolves accordingly. So that structure that holds the body and keeps its form and keeps its capacities is very different from the spirit, which we will be explaining in the next segment. The spirit is the achievement of the person. In the previous show, I was saying that emotions that are repeated become feelings. So you have to make sure that you repeat good emotions so that you end up with good feelings, so that you can end up with good spirit. Because once formed, the spirit has power. Once formed, the spirit can make it easier or can make it very hard. That's why anybody can be furious once or twice, but they are not to be consistently furious, because if they develop that kind of spirit, it's hard for them to control themselves.
So we take a break and we talk about the spirit again in the next segment.
ਕਾਰ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਤਿਲਕ ਕੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਏ, ਕੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ? WSIB ਮੈਟਰਸ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਲਈ ਸਲਾਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਮਿਲੂ? ਆਓ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਵੋ। 20 ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਪਛਾਣਿਆ ਨਾਂ ਜਸ ਜੌਹਲ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਿਓ। ਆਹੋ ਜੀ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ। ਬੈਰਿਸਟਰ ਟੀਮ ਰਾਜ ਔਰ ਰੀਟਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ। ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਮਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੱਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਹੁਣ ਨਵੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੱਡੀ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ 10 ਕਾਟਰੈਲ ਬੁਲੇਵਾਰਡ ਯੂਨਿਟ 203 ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 에어ਪੋਰਟ ਐਂਡ ਕਾਟਰੈਲ 905799 0025 ਜਾਂ johalafirm.com। ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੇ ਜੋਰੀ।
ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ। ਕਿਸੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਸਟ, ਸੈਕੰਡ ਜਾਂ ਥਰਡ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਫੰਡਸ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
ਮੋਗਾ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਐਂਡ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ 30 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਤੇ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਹੁਣ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਖੋਲ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਵਧੀਆ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਤੇ ਘੱਟ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ, ਹਾਰਡਵੁੱਡ ਤੇ ਲੈਮੀਨੇਟ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ 905 848 2222।
I'm so much enjoying the words you are telling all the viewers throughout the world who are watching this program on social media too. As you were telling that how the views are going high all time now, and we are happy that you are appreciating us. We want to thank you again and again now, because our soul want to say you thanks. We were talking about the spirit and the soul. Now the soul wants to say you thanks again and again. So your love is with us and we are with you. So Mother, we were talking about the spirit and the difference between the spirit and the soul. Now we came on that point to know one thing. What do you think about good souls and bad souls? How can we differentiate those two souls, if we say that?
I don't think that there is anything like all souls are absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
They're perfect. What
And what
they
make
have good lessons or poor lessons, bad lessons, good experiences or devastating experiences. A soul can be prevented from being in the happy, godly way that it can be. There are circumstances that can make it difficult for a soul to manifest its perfection, its possibility to help the person. It may take a lot of work and a lot of time. Even if the soul tries, it could be that the person is not receptive. I'll tell you a very brief story. As a therapist, that was my profession.
Please, because all the viewers want to know the story.
As a therapist, I was working with somebody who had multiple personalities. So in different sessions, we were talking about different personalities. And one day, she's late for a session. I wrote an article years ago about this. She's late for a session. And as she enters the office, she looks more beautiful than ever. And I'm looking like, wow, that's a personality I've never seen. She was a beautiful girl, a
But
beautiful
she was looking
lady.
more beautiful that day.
But she was looking, there's a godly, luminous, stunning beauty that was so different from her regular way of looking, really nice. And she sits down and she apologizes for being late for session, telling me that as she was driving, there was an accident which was making the delay, and that she could feel the pain of those in the accident, pain that was happening 16 miles away.
Oh my God.
And I'm looking like, okay, what kind of personality is this one? So I'm asking the person, well, what personality are you? And she's telling me that she's what we call the soul. And she said that she's the life force of the body, of the person. And I'm asking her, and how are you? How do you feel? Past the pain that she felt about the accident, but how are you? And she said, burned out, tired. And I said, why? She says, because my person is separating me from the universal life force. It's like the soul was being separate, and I say, how is she doing that? Well, she's busy with everything that makes her, that seems to be important to her, is the house, the car, the husband, the friends, the job, everything goes well. Now, what do you think the person was coming to therapy with? Saying, I have a big house, we have great friends, I have a handsome husband that has a great job, and we love each other.
We have everything, we can say.
And I'm so unhappy that I want to jump off the bridge. And she wanted to understand, why can she not enjoy? Now, her soul is telling me that the soul was not happy with what was happening, because her ways of doing things were separating the soul from the universe, from the universal empowerment, life force,
or universal truth, we can say that.
That too, everything. And then I'm asking her, were you ever happy with your person?
Yeah.
And the soul says, yeah, when she was going to church, I was more nourished.
Oh.
I felt better when she was more serious and open.
Yeah.
But then she stopped that.
Yeah.
And not necessarily that she should go to church, but she should be open. Yeah. She should pay attention, because otherwise the soul is in pain if it's separated from
The God.
It doesn't succeed in what it needs to do with the person, with the body. So the person has to be receptive to their own soul.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and then the soul tells me that she was looking for the right doctor, going through the clinics to see the doctor that would help the person with some problem that the person had. Yeah. The soul was thinking of the health of the person, finding the best doctor, finding the best whatever she needed. Yeah. At the same time, she said, I said, but are you the one that was pushing for the suicide? Yeah. And she said, yes.
Mother, another question came in my mind. Then the time does not allow to do more in this segment. We will talk after a short break.
Yes.
ਕਾਰ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਤਿਲਕ ਕੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਏ, ਕੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ? WSIB ਮੈਟਰਸ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਲਈ ਸਲਾਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਮਿਲੂ? ਆਓ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਵੋ। 20 ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਪਛਾਣਿਆ ਨਾਂ ਜਸ ਜੌਹਲ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਿਓ। ਆਹੋ ਜੀ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ। ਬੈਰਿਸਟਰ ਟੀਮ ਰਾਜ ਔਰ ਰੀਟਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ। ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਮਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੱਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਹੁਣ ਨਵੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੱਡੀ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ 10 ਕਾਟਰੈਲ ਬੁਲੇਵਾਰਡ ਯੂਨਿਟ 203 ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 에어ਪੋਰਟ ਐਂਡ ਕਾਟਰੈਲ 905 799 0025 ਜਾਂ johalafirm.com। ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੇ ਜੋਰੀ।
ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ। ਕਿਸੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਸਟ, ਸੈਕੰਡ ਜਾਂ ਥਰਡ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਫੰਡਸ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
ਮੋਗਾ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਐਂਡ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ 30 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਤੇ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਹੁਣ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਖੋਲ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਵਧੀਆ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਤੇ ਘੱਟ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ, ਹਾਰਡਵੁੱਡ ਤੇ ਲੈਮੀਨੇਟ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ 905 848 2222।
From the story that I was telling you before the break, we realized
of that lady,
that the soul can feel at a distance, like feeling the pain 16 miles away when an accident happened, can feel for the person, with the person, but also can separate from the person, to the point where the soul was pushing towards the suicide for the soul to be free. And I had to say to the soul, no, you cannot kill your own person. You get in trouble if you kill your own person. No, that's why suicide is murder, actually. It's like a soul cannot do that and say you cannot kill your own person. But I will help you to negotiate for your person to hear, to understand, and to start giving you the possibility to help your own person, because it's the structure. So the soul is conscious, is thinking, is feeling, is deciding, is moving, is connecting. And then it's a structure that can have a life of its own and find its own place in the universe if the person does not respect the presence of that soul. Now, the spirit, The soul works with the structure of the body, grows, resembles. The soul of the same person would, over many lifetimes, the person would have common traits that would be visible. I can see pictures of people from different lifetimes that have the common traits that are maintained by the soul. Now, the spirit, so the soul keeps the structure. The spirit works with the atoms.
Oh.
The mind works with the molecules. For the mind to make proteins in the body, it needs the atoms. So mind, spirit, so it's not, what is it? Mind of a body, spirit of a body, spirit of a mind of a spirit. No, it's all together working in harmony.
Yeah.
The spirit can provide the atoms needed by that body, and the mind can work with those atoms to make the molecules. How? On the structure of the soul.
Now we all want to know one more thing about the spirit and the soul and everything. If we feel that I hurted someone in this life, I'm feeling that if I hurted someone, will I have to pay in next life? What do you think about that?
It's not a payment, like it's not somebody there who says, oh, you pay for what you've done in the past life time. It is a consequence because what you do, like we were talking, what you think, what you feel will configure your spirit in one way or another. So if you hurt somebody by being aggressive and you carry that seed of aggression in the next time of your next lifetime, is you're already born with something that was formed wrongly. That will create the problems for you internally. What you build in one lifetime would affect you in the next lifetime. You don't start pure. You start not necessarily with the story, although that could be in the memory of your life, of your being, but you start with a deficiency from the get-go. You could start with greed, you can start with lust, you can start with violence, and it's a poor start. Then you are a child, you don't even know how to deal with this, and if you don't have a good family environment to calm down those features and to teach you how to give you the dharma of being nice with others.
Today we are giving you so much information about these things because now one more question came from that thing.
Yes, please.
If someone got one injury few lives back, is it possible it is hurting him or her this life?
Say that again.
If one person got an injury of the physical body.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. If it affected the soul, yes.
So I found few people that they were saying that we got this injury 1,000 years back in those lives. Is it the truth?
Absolutely. I had patient who couldn't stand sunshine on the legs or warm shower on the legs or steam. And as we looked at the past lifetimes, he had been killed in Auschwitz. So the way it started when he was in the gas chamber, they first got a shower. And then they got into the gas chamber. First they would be relaxed so that they would release their soul, and then they would get burned. So it would start gradually. That's why sunshine on his legs meant announcing the worst.
Now I'm telling you one thing, that if our relations also affect, if we are hurting someone in this life, we will have to pay this next life, and those people will hurt us. It is possible for them.
They could come with vengeance. They could chase after who hurt them.
So in next segment, we want to know other thing about that thing, because if we are getting all these wounds of life or injuries, if we got the injury and now we have to pay for that, why we are not thinking that we should do something good?
But we do. I hope we do. So is that thing working now? It's zero. What's happening?
Finished now? You are not understanding. You are in that state now. Okay, it's finished now.
Okay.
You're in that stage now.
ਕਾਰ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਿਲਕ ਕੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਏ ਕੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ WSIB ਮੈਟਰਸ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਲਈ ਸਲਾਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਮਿਲੂ ਆਓ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਵੋ 20 ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਪਛਾਣਿਆ ਨਾ ਜਸ ਜੌਹਲ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਿਓ ਆਹੋ ਜੀ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਬੈਰਿਸਟਰ ਟੀਮ ਰਾਜ ਔਰ ਰੀਟਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਮਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੱਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਹੁਣ ਨਵੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੱਡੀ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ 10 ਕਾਟਰੈਲ ਬੁਲੇਵਾਰਡ ਯੂਨਿਟ 203 ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 에어ਪੋਰਟ ਐਂਡ ਕਾਟਰੈਲ 905799 ਜਾਂ johalafirm.com ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੇ ਜੋਰੀ
ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ
ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਸਟ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਜਾਂ ਥਰਡ ਮਾਰਗੇਜ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਫੰਡਸ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ
ਮੋਗਾ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਐਂਡ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ 30 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਤੇ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ ਹੁਣ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਖੋਲ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਤੇ ਘੱਟ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਹਾਰਡਵੁੱਡ ਤੇ ਲੈਮੀਨੇਟ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ 905 848 2222
Welcome back. I guess we are talking about the journey of the soul with experiences carried from one lifetime to another
Mother,
lifetime.
I was asking you that time that if someone is feeling that he got something about his past life, and you said that is it okay? It can be his past life, and along with that, some people feel that they got all the sorrows of their past life deeds. What do you say?
They will be preserved into the soul, into the life itself.
Yeah.
Remember, there's one life with more lifetimes, but it's the same life.
Yeah.
And it will carry the history and it will carry the effects.
Yeah.
And once they're understood, illumined, and healed, then the person has not only the good effects of the healing, but also the learning from that experience, what they understand about themselves or about the others. Like I was telling you, the documentation that I was telling you in the previous, the moment I had that clear, shortly after that I published my book.
Oh.
I no longer had that reaction because there was something in my inner life that was reacting, like what's going to happen? It's that fear that was reliving of that experience. Of course, that was happening at the human level, and the divine level was teaching me how it works. But I will tell you something even more
important,
spectacular and important about that. Okay.
I want to ask you my personal question. When I was shooting, I was going for the shooting for the soul. There is a place in India where the people say lots of ghosts are living here. So I was listening all this from the whole world that they were aware of that thing. Because why? Now the question arises why? Because that place was the hospital in older times, and that was the TB hospital that time. And the patients were coming there, children were coming there, then the old ladies and everyone was coming there, and they were dropping their patients there, their relatives there, and they were not coming to pick them up because all people were dying. There was no medicine for TB and other things, and lots of people were buried there at that time. I want it personally. My answer should be personally, and I'm sharing it with all the public and all. Then we went there for the. It was in my mind. I will shoot my video here at any cost. At that time when we went there, we were with the 3 cameras, video cameras, and all the cameras shut down.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all the cameras were shut down. And then someone was saying me, you should not do it here. Then I started to pray that time. Then I saw a beautiful girl there. Beauty, that was the beautiest of the world. We can say that. I saw her, she was dancing there. It was my mind, maybe it can be my dream or whatever the people can think about that. At that time, that girl was going from there, and I was feeling that the spirit came here, and we people say those ghosts all time. Then I prayed all time for that thing, and when we started the shooting, a burned tire of the car came from, I don't know from where it came, and it was on me.
And you're talking about soul
Yeah,
burning.
it was on me. It was on me. I'm telling you the truth. I know about that video. If you will see that, I saw that soul is coming out of the that fire we were burning there. That soul was coming out. Maybe that girl was coming out of that thing. So
that girl was a goddess.
yeah,
I see what you're
that time
looking
I
at.
found that we should be careful about when we talk so much about the things. We should be aware of everything that what we want to say. So I was asking you, is that possible that there are these spirits who are finding something?
Absolutely. I had an experience going to speak with people at the children's hospital. I wanted to offer to help. They did not accept my help. I wanted to help. I was crying for children with cancer. I wanted to go in the hospital and help children with cancer, doing healing work. And they did not accept it. But while waiting for the interview, for the meeting with them, I was sitting in the hospital. And all of a sudden, I could feel all the souls of the children that have died in that hospital. They're still there. And I was there, and with love and light, I helped all of those souls to go to the light, to transcend. And I could hear the children laughing as they were going through the portal of light. Otherwise, there were 6 souls walking around the hospital.
My viewers, my soul is crying now. So in next segment, we will know about those things, what is happening today and what will happen tomorrow.
ਕਾਰ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਤਿਲਕ ਕੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਏ, ਕੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ? WSIB ਮੈਟਰਸ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਲਈ ਸਲਾਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਮਿਲੂ? ਆਓ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਵੋ। 20 ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਪਛਾਣਿਆ ਨਾਂ ਜਸ ਜੌਹਲ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਿਓ। ਆਹੋ ਜੀ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ, ਬੈਰਿਸਟਰ ਟੀਮ ਰਾਜ ਔਰ ਰੀਟਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ। ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਮਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੱਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਹੁਣ ਨਵੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੱਡੀ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ 10 ਕਾਟਰੈਲ ਬੁਲੇਵਾਰਡ ਯੂਨਿਟ 203 ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 에어ਪੋਰਟ ਐਂਡ ਕਾਟਰੈਲ 905 799 0025 ਜਾਂ johalafirm.com। ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੇ ਜੋਰੀ।
ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ। ਕਿਸੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਸਟ, ਸੈਕੰਡ ਜਾਂ ਥਰਡ ਮਾਰਗੇਜ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਫੰਡਸ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
ਮੋਗਾ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਐਂਡ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ 30 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਤੇ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਹੁਣ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਖੋਲ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਵਧੀਆ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਤੇ ਘੱਟ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ, ਹਾਰਡਵੁੱਡ ਤੇ ਲੈਮੀਨੇਟ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ 905 848 2222।
Mother, as I was asking you about my experience, and you are telling about your experiences also to the whole world. Now I want to know one thing, that if these spirits, we can say, the going here and there, why they are here? We want to know that.
They can stay because they're attached. They have people that they love here. They can stay because of unresolved issues. That's very rare. Mostly because of the attachments, because of who they love. And many times because they don't have the power to go to the light. They need help to go to the light. And one of the things that we can do, it's important for people to know, that first of all, we don't want to lose anybody.
Yeah.
But if that happens, we have to keep the crying to as much as necessary, but to a minimum.
Yeah.
And celebrate that life. Yeah. And create, because if everybody cries, in the moment that soul is already hurt and lost the body and lost the life.
Yeah.
If everybody is sad, there's that cloud of sadness and of the dark thought, and then the soul can be trapped.
Yeah.
And it's not enough to say, I release you, go to the light.
Yeah.
Because if the soul is sad and hurt, and everybody around is sad and hurt,
Yeah.
they don't go very far. But if the environment is celebrating them, and there's prayer and gratefulness for their life,
Yeah.
sorrow for losing them, but then gratefulness for their life, they open the tunnel of light.
Yeah.
The tunnel of light is opened by those that are around the person when the person cannot do it themselves. Yeah. There are some who take off like a rocket and go in the other end of the universe, but there are some who can hardly make it from here to there.
Yeah.
And they need the help, and that is where the love for one that is not able to continue this time, this lifetime, has to give people the strength to help them in their journey.
Yeah, I knew one thing that you were telling about in last segment, that if one reached at that destination, it is possible he can reach after 1 second to be the pure soul. And there is a story in a culture, I heard about that. There was a farmer there, and he was so much hard work at that time, and it recalls us about that thing. He was so much hard worker, and the God came there. This is the story. The God came there. He said that you will have to plow my fields first of all, then we will eat together. This is the real story. That person's name was Tanna Jat. He was a farmer, and when we heard about that story, it is the truth, because maybe it is possible you are so much near to your destination. Mm-hmm. This story tells us, and we say goodbye to ourselves, that we will think about the material things now, and we were reaching the destination at that time.
That's so beautiful, like the farmer who loved the farm,
Yeah.
who has responsibility, like we were talking
Yeah,
earlier,
and
doesn't want to go without
and he
plowing the
he
field.
said that I will eat with you when you will plow my farms first of all.
Yes.
Then the story says that God was eating with him, sitting
Yeah.
with him at that time. He was the poor farmer. Mm-hmm. So it does not mean that the God will come to the richest people there.
Yeah.
The richness of this thing is that you have the rich from the soul. Mm-hmm. The main
Yeah.
thing is you are pure from the soul.
The
is
worth
the richness.
of the
Yeah.
soul, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we were on that topic, that spirit and all, and we comes out of that and we go in that again. Mother, what do you think about if we are doing good deeds all time in life? What is our destination then?
paradise on earth until we develop the divinity that takes us straight to places in the universe.
Yeah.
Of further development, of further accomplishments, and a new level of life without ever having to deal with dying.
Yeah.
That's the
truth.
That's the truth. Yeah. Death that destroys, that inhibits, that puts in a very critical position every part of the being. That was the worst thing that was ever created.
What you feel
that was ever made. It's not a godly thing. God does not create the death, does not give death. Death is not godly at any time.
A simple question that then we will go to another segment. A simple question: the music gives some vibrations to the soul. You were singing. I'm feeling that.
Yes.
What do you say?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It
Music,
can give life to the soul.
Life to the soul.
Yeah,
the
the
soul
light
needs
life.
The music.
The soul, absolutely. The light life that comes through the music can sustain the soul.
Yeah, it was so much entertainment to talk about this thing, and we will talk other things in the next segment.
ਕਾਰ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਿਲਕ ਕੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਏ ਕੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ WSIB ਮੈਟਰਸ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਲਈ ਸਲਾਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਮਿਲੂ ਆਓ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਵੋ 20 ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਪਛਾਣਿਆ ਨਾਂ ਜਸ ਜੌਹਲ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਿਓ ਆਹੋ ਜੀ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਬੈਰਿਸਟਰ ਟੀਮ ਰਾਜ ਔਰ ਰੀਟਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਮਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੱਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਹੁਣ ਨਵੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੱਡੀ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ 10 ਕਾਟਰੈਲ ਬੁਲੇਵਾਰਡ ਯੂਨਿਟ 203 ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 에어ਪੋਰਟ ਐਂਡ ਕਾਟਰੈਲ 9057990025 ਜਾਂ johalafirm.com ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੇ ਜੋਰੀ
ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ
ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਸਟ ਸੈਕਿੰਡ ਜਾਂ ਥਰਡ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਫੰਡਸ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ
ਮੋਗਾ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਐਂਡ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ 30 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਤੇ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ ਹੁਣ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਖੋਲ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਤੇ ਘੱਟ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਹਾਰਡਵੁੱਡ ਤੇ ਲੈਮੀਨੇਟ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ 905 848 2222
You wanted to know more about life. The interaction between the mind and the spirit creates the life.
Yeah. This is the word which is proper for the life.
This is it.
It's the slogan
mind
of
and
life,
spirit together create the life.
Yeah.
So the individual creates the quality of life according to their own deeds and thinking, the way they use their mind. And remember emotions, and what you think about the emotions would validate feelings. So, and then it will make spirit. So the spirit comes from thinking and feeling, and the mind examines that.
A question is a simple question came in my mind now. What do you think about that? Is soul or the spirit can be the vegetarian? What do you think about that? And why you think that thing?
The soul is vegetarian. The spirit depends on the kind of person.
Yeah.
It can be a spirit that's in a hurry to eat the living atoms of other beings.
Yeah.
Or it can be the spirit that wants to stay clean.
Yeah.
Wants to just use his own
It
atoms.
means that the vegetarian things clean the soul. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
means that it works like
Yeah.
a medicine for the soul.
Yeah, the soul feels sick to feel the taste of another being, animal or whatever. The soul does not participate to the eating of meat.
Yeah.
The spirit does,
Spirit
depending on
likes
the
to,
spirit.
spirit's liking about that.
Yeah, and the body takes what the spirit does.
Whatever we
Yeah.
want, yeah. So it's the interesting thing to know. One thing, we vegetarian, I want to say,
What's
we
the-
vegetarian if
yeah.
you want to make your soul pure forever.
What a question. See, I never thought of that. Is the soul vegetarian, is the spirit? But as you say it, I realized that, yeah, the soul is always vegetarian.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, and what do you think about the intuition? Sometimes I think about these intuitions and all about the past lives and the coming lives, future, about anything. What is your experience about that? If you are finding something in my mind that this will happen with me, like me, the common person. If I think that it can happen with me, it will happen with me. What do you think?
Not necessarily.
What is it?
This is where you have to know that when you get premonition about something,
Yeah.
you have to change something so it doesn't happen.
Oh.
Like if you get a premonition, that's a warning for you to pay attention.
It means we want to change this and this.
Exactly.
For mankind or anything.
Exactly.
So
the
it is
same
coming in
way.
our mind.
If you look at the apocalypse as all these writings about the apocalypse, like a premonition, somebody had thought the vision of something that will happen to end. We all had to work to make it not happen.
Mother, the time does not allow us to talk so much because today I want to know one thing. What are your future plans for this mankind, to save this mankind?
For every individual to develop to the best of their abilities, to organize and work in ways that they will develop their own integrity, that they will help each other, for everybody to have what they must have. There are divine plans of prosperity for the earth where everybody will have home, food, and education. That's a must.
Yeah.
That's not a luxury,
Yeah.
for everyone. So that they can develop to be the best that they can be. And there'll be teachings about how to understand what they're made of, how does that work, and to realize how easy it is actually to be the best that they can be. Once they understand, if they know what to do, when they will understand how easy it is to tell the truth, it's already more difficult to keep covering lies and be embarrassed and caught and whatever. When they understand how easy it is to be kind, how easy it is to be generous, how easy it is to be helpful, and how much money they save by doing all the good things, because if they do all the good things, they are healthy, they are happy, they don't get in financial troubles if they're honest and if they're working and so on. Everything good is so available.
If we cannot love our soul, how we can love this mankind? We should know this thing today. And we were with Mother to ask her a few questions about life. If you have any questions about life, about soul, about spirit and other things, if anything is in your mind, you can ask her anytime, because she's able to tell the mankind. She wants to change this world, she wants to change this globe. So be with her forever.
Well, please do send your questions. I actually love questions because they get me to think of things that maybe I didn't think, like with the soul vegetarian, didn't think about that. But I get questions that everybody's question is a treasure for me, because it's an occasion to enrich the knowledge by bringing the answer.
And from today, the Mother's blessings are with you, and with those blessings, you can ask the questions. Goodbye till today.
ਕਾਰ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਤਿਲਕ ਕੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਏ, ਕੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ? WSIB ਮੈਟਰਸ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਲਈ ਸਲਾਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਮਿਲੂ? ਆਓ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਵੋ। 20 ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਪਛਾਣਿਆ ਨਾਂ ਜਸ ਜੌਹਲ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਿਓ। ਆਹੋ ਜੀ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ। ਬੈਰਿਸਟਰ ਟੀਮ ਰਾਜ ਔਰ ਰੀਟਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ। ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਮਸਲਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੱਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਹੁਣ ਨਵੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੱਡੀ ਥਾਂ ਤੇ 10 ਕਾਟਰੈਲ ਬੁਲੇਵਾਰਡ ਯੂਨਿਟ 203 ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 에어ਪੋਰਟ ਐਂਡ ਕਾਟਰੈਲ 905 799 0025 ਜਾਂ johalafirm.com। ਜੌਹਲ ਲਾ ਫਰਮ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੇ ਜੋਰੀ।
ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ। ਕਿਸੇ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਰ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਮੋਰਗੇਜ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾਵਾਂ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਸਟ, ਸੈਕਿੰਡ ਜਾਂ ਥਰਡ ਮਾਰਗੇਜ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਫੰਡਸ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ।
ਮੋਗਾ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਐਂਡ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ 30 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ ਤੇ ਫਲੋਰਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਹੁਣ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਖੋਲ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਵਧੀਆ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਤੇ ਘੱਟ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਾਰਪੇਟ, ਹਾਰਡਵੁੱਡ ਤੇ ਲੈਮੀਨੇਟ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰਨ ਲਈ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ 905 848 2222।
Welcome back. Thank you for watching our show. You learned many things about soul, mind, and body, much about the power of the soul to sustain the body and the importance of the spirit in the healing of the body. Before I let you go today, wishing you a great week ahead until next time, I would like to mention that it is in your hands to keep yourself in the best health possible. And there are ways that are extraordinarily effective to allow the components of your being that are in charge with your healing and with your good functioning, to allow them create the good conditions that they need. The mind needs peace. Create a time of peace for the mind to work with the body. The soul needs comfort. Create a state of comfort so that your soul can work. And your spirit needs positivity. If you remember earlier in the show, I was saying that the spirit is the result of repeated emotions that become feelings, and then they are examined by the thought and accepted, like, that's not me, why would I feel that way? And then an explanation just wash away something that does not belong to you. Or can say, yeah, that's exactly me. And if you choose the exactly you, positive, in emotions, in thought, in feelings, then the result of that is a healthy spirit. You heard many times that people with a serious condition come from the doctor with a 2 months verdict. They are told that they have 2 months. That this is one of the landmarks known to people. Coming from the doctor with a 2 months verdict. Oh, doctor, how long do I have? 2 months. And then they have to know what to do in those 2 months. 2 months is 60 days. The symptoms that the doctor reads when, knowing those symptoms, the doctor knows that the body doesn't work for more than 2 months, indicate the fact that the spirit is extremely damaged, that the spirit does not function. the body cannot function without the spirit for more than 2 months. This is why it fails. The person doesn't eat, doesn't thrive, does not heal. It only goes worse and worse. Yet there are people who came home and they said, 2 months, okay, I'll use these 2 months to enjoy, to repent, to make peace with everybody with whom I had problems. They start a prayer chain and they reduce the medication. Some of them throw it all away and they go, okay, if I only have 2 months, at least I just have to feel it all and restore as much as I can, because I'll meet my maker and I better be ready for that. 20 years down the road, they are still healthy and tell the story. And then they go, the doctors were wrong, they only gave me 2 months. The doctors are not true. Theoretically, they are not wrong because they knew. But in that particular case, the person did something that changed things. What changed in the person that survived 20 years past the 2 months verdict? The spirit changed. So let's talk about the 40 days. In the next show, we'll talk about the 40 days that the spirit needs to be restored so that the spirit can save your life and your future. Until next time.